Who built the first nuclear bomb? Who will lead AI development? Today we explore the most intense rivalries between nations throughout history. This video will take you through the greatest competitions between countries and empires that shape the world. The biggest rivalries in history. Naval race, Britain versus Germany, late 19th, early 20th century. In the late 19th century, Britain and Germany competed to build the world's most powerful navy. Britain developed the Dreadnought, a new class of fast and powerful battleships. Germany built a massive fleet called Kriegsmarine to challenge British dominance. Outcome: Britain maintained naval supremacy in World War I. Arms race, 19th, 20th century. Many nations competed to build the most advanced weapons and strengthen their armies. Key rivalries, 1914 to 1918, World War I introduced tanks, machine guns, and warplanes. 1939 to 1945. World War II led to nuclear weapons, jet fighters, and rockets. 1945 to 1991, Cold War. The US and the USSR engaged in an intense race to develop nuclear weapons, tanks, and advanced war technology. Nuclear arms race, USA versus USSR, 1945 to 1991. After World War II, the US tested the first nuclear bomb in 1945, while the USSR developed its own in 1949. Both nations rapidly expanded their nuclear arsenals. 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. The world came dangerously close to nuclear war. Outcome: both countries stockpiled thousands of nuclear weapons, increasing global tension. Space race, USA versus USSR, 1957 to 1975, a fierce competition to dominate space exploration. Major events: 1957, the USSR launched Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite. 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space. 1969, the US landed Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the Moon, Apollo 11. Outcome: the US won the space race but later collaborated with the USSR on joint missions. Cold War tech race, USSR, 1945 to 1991. The rivalry extended beyond military technology into computing, cryptography, and intelligence. Key rivalries: stealth technology, US F-117 Nighthawk versus Soviet MiG fighters. Cyber intelligence, NSA versus KGB in digital espionage. Computing, US IBM versus Soviet BESM and Elbrus supercomputers. Outcome: the US advanced faster in computer technology, leaving the USSR behind. Economic rivalry, West versus Asia, 1980s, present. Western nations and Asian economies, including Japan, China, and South Korea, engaged in fierce economic competition. Major rivalries, 1980s to 1990s. Japan challenged US dominance in automobiles and electronics, Toyota, Sony, Honda. 2000s, China emerged as a global economic powerhouse, competing directly with the US. 2020, South Korea, Samsung, Hyundai, China, Huawei, BYD, and the US, Apple, Tesla, intensified the race in technology. Outcome: China is striving to overtake the US economically, but the competition continues. USA versus USSR. The Cold War rivalry extended into sports, where the USSR and the US used the Olympics to showcase national superiority. Key events: 1980, the US and its allies boycotted the Moscow Olympics. The US became the dominant force in global sports. AI race, USA, China, and Europe. The most critical competition today is the race to dominate artificial intelligence. Key players: USA, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Google DeepMind, Gemini. China, Baidu, Alibaba, Ernie Bot, Tongyi Tianwen. Europe, Mistral AI, Aleph Alpha. Outcome: OpenAI and Google are leading, but China is rapidly catching up. Throughout history, great rivalries have driven human progress. But what about today? Will artificial intelligence become the greatest competition of the future? Share your thoughts in the comments.